Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Train Sim World 5 video. Today, you joined me back on the Cathcart Circle line with the absolutely excellent Class 380 Stroke 1 Desiro with the full Cathcart timetable enabled. We're heading from Glasgow Central to Neilston today. Let's see what trains we've got. We've got, Pendolino, nice. We've got a LNW, oh goodness. LNWR Class 350 meant to represent the time Transpennine Express loaned 350s to Transpennine Express. LNWR loaned to Transpennine Express, if that makes any sense. I do have a mod that does get the branding back in, because, yeah. We've got like a 385. We've got two Pendolinos, I didn't notice that before. We've got a 314, which comes with the route. We've got a, what is this? Got a 158 off of Edinburgh to Glasgow. We've got our train. We've got a 314, a 380, 380, 380, 380, 380. Goodness gracious. How many trains is that total? That's 4 in this section. No, 5 in this section. And then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We've got 12 trains in total, and almost the entire station is full. So, FPS is actually not doing too badly considering the amount of trains we are on. Okay, GSMR is booting up. Let's get the doors open. Yeah, you could. Let's get the exterior lights on. I don't think we have any to do any instrument lights. So let's get the safeties on. So, safeties. Should have done that before I put the key in. TPWS, Vigilance, DSD, and there's got to be AWS somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Alright. So our stops today are Glasgow Central, Pollock Shields East, Queen's Park, Cross Hill, Mount Florida, Cathcart, Muirend, I think that's how you pronounce that. I'm not Scottish, so please forgive any bad pronunciations today. William Wood, White Craigs, I think I just butchered the Scottish accent there, Patterton, and Neilston. So yeah, it has been a bit since we have been on the Cathcart Circle, despite this being definitely in the top 10 routes for the game. And I'm also not running the Class 380 sound mod. I used to, but I got rid of most of my mods because my computer couldn't take it. This also has the 380 also has the distinction of being one of the fastest accelerating trains in the game, at least ones I've come up against. If you put it to full power, you're at line speed within like 30 seconds on this line. Let's get ready to shut the doors and part. So leave the combined handling off. Yeah, speed limit of 15, I think, coming out of Glasgow Central. Give it 50% juice. Next stop, Pollock Shields East in 1.3 miles. Yeah, you can really see that my frames are not having fun with all these trains here. How many frames is that? 18? Phew! Wow. Yeah, you see how powerful this thing is. It is ridiculously quick off the mark. I forgot to get the windows open. Nope. I almost opened the cab door by mistake. There we go. That would be bad. This is actually one of the trains updated at the end of the TSW5 era to get dynamic suspension. Look at this. Oh, wait, what? Oh, there we go. Yeah, dynamic suspension is very nice to have. Glasgow Central with this timetable, if you have all the layers, looks like we're racing a Pendolino coming out of here. Nice. Is absolutely insanely busy. Like in the original timetable for this route, all you could see were Class 314s, and I don't think there were any timetable layers apart from like one Class 47 rail tour. Nowadays, you've got basically an almost complete ScotRail rail scene apart from the Inter 7 City HSTs. And you've got Transpennine Express, in air quotes, 350s, and you've got Pendolinos. Yeah, which is pretty, like, yeah, it's insane, really. The amount of developers and trains that could spawn in on this route. But the 380, I think, is I think it's one of, if not the best Dovetail Games products ever made. And I know some people aren't gonna, some people are going to say, oh, I prefer this because of this, and this reasons, but honestly, for me, the Class 380 has to be the best Dovetail Games product ever made. And I don't use those words lightly, because Dovetail has made, honestly, quite a few good products. I give them a lot of flack for their mixed quality and bad products, but when they do things right, they do things right very well. And, like, yeah, this is a perfect example of Dovetail Games actually giving us good quality products. This is actually this route is actually technically made by Dovetail Games. There's the 390 heading off onto the WCML there, but this route has gotten contributions from 2 other developers. Rivet Games helped with the initial development of this route, and you can tell, like, it definitely has a Rivet quality to it, but there's also another, what was it? There is another developer who has contributed to it. Grump Dog Games, who did the remaster for the West Somerset Railway, also did the remaster and timetable for this route, and is also, as of recording this video, doing it for Great Western Express, and he's also going to make his own third-party product in the form of the GWR HST Farewell Livery Pack, which I personally can't wait for. All of his stuff that he's done is actually pretty good. There's 314. Oh my goodness. I was using... Yeah, this is insane how fast this thing breaks too. I haven't driven the 380 in a good bit, so you'll forgive me if I bodge things a bit. Never mind, I just did a pretty good stop there. Welcome to Pollock Shields East. Pretty nice station, this. Alright, we've got 30 seconds till we need to go. Another thing I do like about the 380 is they didn't just leave the CCTV things blank. They put no image expected here on instead, which would be realistic if the CCTV cameras weren't working, which I do like. It does add a little extra bit of realism, even if the CCTVs can't work due to game limitations. Right, full throttle start. Now watch this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 10 miles an hour. 15, 20, 25, 30, and I've got to let off because we're approaching line speed. Within 15 seconds, we're at line speed, and you do need full acceleration, especially if you want to get between stations in a reasonable time. Now, that's one of the things about the Class 314 on this line. It didn't really have a good amount of acceleration, so yeah, the 380 definitely fixes that. I think the 380 also layers onto Edinburgh to Glasgow by Rivet Games if you have the Sprinter Express timetable. So if you want to do like high speed runs at the 380, then yeah, that's definitely an option to go for. And we literally stopped before the stop marker. These things' brakes are ridiculously good. Yeah. So what is this? Queen's Park. I'll do an external cam launch this time just to show you how ridiculously quick this thing accelerates.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Mind the gap.
Beans. Wow. That is insane, quite frankly. The acceleration definitely levels off as the speed gets higher, but wow, this thing is absolutely ridiculously fast. Come on, buddy. Oh my goodness. Even like 10% brake slows it down too quickly. Wow. Are we on the... Yeah, we're on the eastern side of the circle today. Yeah. Welcome to Cross Hill. Wow, this is a small station. Oh, we've got 1 minute here. Okay. Yeah. Back at the time he did the Cathcart remaster, the Grunt Dog was still known as Liam because he was still officially in the Dovetail Games team, but nowadays he's branched out on his own and formed his own third-party development group. But he still does work for remastering stuff for Dovetail, which is pretty cool. Next stop, Mount Florida. Which is weird because we aren't even in the United States, let alone Florida. Sorry, I just had to throw that Florida joke out there. Oh goodness. You really have to keep an eye on your speed because it's very, very easy to overspeed with this train. Probably hear the wind outside my windows right now. I'd say a route which is comparable to this in quality, but diesel, if you want to do like diesel only, I can definitely recommend the Cardiff City Network by Dovetail Games. That's a very good route, and also Just Trains are converting their Pacer from Blackpool branches to modern standards and putting it in a Transport for Wales and a Riva livery for that route, for the Cardiff City Network, with like even like Welsh announcements, which is pretty cool. There's another 380. Nice. Wonder where he's coming from. Neilston. Oh, he's coming from where he's coming from where we're going. He's in Neilston to Glasgow. Man, this route is good. Like, I know I have to give Dovetail Games or River Games flack about the quality of their products, but this is one route where the quality is honestly second to none. Like, yeah. I can play the absolute heck out of this route. I know I've been playing it quite a bit off camera, but yeah. Next stop, Cathcart. Yeah, then we'll head down here and off here. Since this route is older and has quite a few older assets, the performance is actually pretty decent as well, which is nice. So you have a 20 limit coming into Cathcart, okay. So, where are we going? Okay, so there's the branch off to Newton, that direction. Yeah. Like, the default sounds are pretty good, but if you want really good sounds and you're on PC, then I definitely recommend downloading the Class 350 and 380 sound mod by Itzia165 over on the Train Sim community website, because that makes the already decent sounds even better. That was only 45% brake there at the end. Yeah. If you want something with a rapid stopping pattern, then yeah, I could definitely recommend this route. If you're into electric stuff. If you're into diesel stuff, then yeah, definitely Cardiff City Network. Next stop, Muir End? Muir End? Yeah, in 0.8 miles. We're now heading on to the western branch of the Cathcart Circle. What a great route this is, man. Like, I loved it even when it hadn't even gotten the remaster and it still only had the 314. I loved it then, but this makes it even better, man. So yeah. Now we're heading on to the western branch of the Cathcart Circle, over toward Neilston. 900 yards to go. This route is like one of those short but sweet ones, which really is... Which I think Dovetail does the best. Like, the longer the route, the more shoddy the scenery and train quality, it seems. Though there are some short routes with bad scenery quality. Like the original Isle of Wight route from 2020, I think it was, but that's a Rivet Games product, so I suppose I shouldn't talk about that. Oh, wow. Oh, I just put the reverser in neutral. Oops! Hang on. First skill issue of the day. Sorry. At least we're still getting there on time, and it didn't count that as a stop, which is very nice. One thing I'm startled about the acceleration and the braking is, how do passengers that are standing up during rush hour, how did they not fall over when the driver goes into full acceleration or full braking? Also, another thing I do like about the 380 is the two different variants that are included. We're in the stroke 1, but there's also stroke 0, and then the stroke 1s handle the Neilston service, and the stroke 0s handle the Newton service, which provides a bit of timetable variety, which I do really like. Beans. Next stop, William Wood in 1.3 miles. So, what stops have we got left? William Wood, White Craigs, Patterton, and Neilston. We still have a few stops to go. Also, another good thing about Cathcart is, for those who don't have a lot of time, you can just hop on Cathcart Circle and do like a end-to-end timetable service like this one in under half an hour, like, which is also really nice. Because there aren't too many services where you can do a full end-to-end service in under half an hour. I suppose Island Line 20, the two Isle of Wight routes, do count as one of them, but there aren't too many. Yards to go. Haven't really had any signals so far, have we? That AWS magnet didn't cause a responding ding from the AWS system in the train. Interesting. Also, the scenery detail is decent. Nothing to write home about, I suppose, but the station detail is also another really nice thing about this route. It is very good quality, these stations right here. Wow. We just went from 20 miles an hour to 0 in about 10 yards. Wow. Okay. Ooh, look at that. Look at this, like, custom bridge asset here, like with the weathering too. I know it's a bit low resolution, but it holds up pretty nicely, if I'm being honest. Yeah. Beans. Next stop, White Craigs. This thing can probably do 0 to 60 miles an hour better than some cars on the road. It would, like, some pretty low performing cars, mind you, but yeah. Is this screen... I can't remember if this screen is interactive at all. But, yeah. I don't really use it. I don't think you really need to use it for, like, for anything in the timetable, in, like, normal timetable services. There are... I believe it's the 385 by Rivet Games, where a bunch of announcements are controlled via the TMS screen, and it's actually modeled, which is pretty neat. I think off camera I'll take this thing out on Edinburgh to Glasgow just to see how fast it can do a 0 to 60 time. Just for the heck of it. Don't know how I'd time it though. Yeah. Right, we've got just over a minute here, so yeah. I think my only complaint about the 380 is one that's from real life. The window is a bit small, but it's definitely better than the post box slit that you get with the 385. Literally, I don't drive the 385 that much because the visibility out of it is absolutely atrocious, and that's a complaint I have about the real life one as well. I have a mod for the 385 that adds good sounds to it, unlike the absolutely horrific ones that Rivet Games gave it, but yeah. If you can get around the problem with the crap sounds, and it's actually, the 385 is actually a decent train apart from the absolute lack of visibility. Right, next stop, Patterson. Yeah, which is the second to last stop before Neilston. How's performance? Ooh, basically rock solid 60 FPS. You don't get on too many routes from TSW these days because they just keep adding more and more features that keep eating away at the frames per second. Yay! 7 miles. Can't believe it's not too long until Trains of World 6 comes out. The remaster for Cathcart Circle and the 380 came out during the TSW5 era. And that was, what, just about a year ago. That's crazy. I wonder why the motor sounds on these Siemens Desiro units sound so odd. Like the so-called UFO sounds that motors make. I wonder why that's a thing. Like, what engineering decision led them to do that? Was it like a purely aesthetic thing, or is it the way the motors work? Or I don't know. I'm not an engineer, so yeah. Got another 25 seconds until we're supposed to leave. Next and final stop, Neilston in 3.5 miles, which I think is the longest gap between stations we've had so far. One thing about Neilston is because even the 380 starts to top out at higher speeds because of the relentless 1% gradient all the way up. Basically all the way up there once you get onto the western branch of the circle, which is annoying, but not yeah. Wow, rock solid 60 FPS. You see that so rarely on newer routes in TSW, and it is really a sign of this route's age, really. Like, yeah, the scenery detail is not the best, but it was definitely better than before the remaster, and it's something that I can overlook considering the age of the route, really. Ooh, this is actually the perfect spot for a gratuitous thumbnail shot. Yes. So if I just zoom in, come on, give me 25% field of view. Stop being annoying. No. Come on! There we go. No, that's too low. Ooh, that's a pretty nice shot. Yes. Okay. Let's reduce the depth of field so it just keeps this in frame. Yeah, that looks decent. I'll take that. 55 limit in fourths and a few seconds once the train passes the board. Let's give it 50%. I think that's all we need to get up to speed. I think, yeah, Neilston is definitely the furthest extent of the network. Is there an abandoned station? Did there used to be a station here? Scottish viewers at the channel, please let me know. Was there a station here at some point? That'd be pretty. I wonder what. And if so, I wonder what it was called. Is that a 380? Nice. I do like me a 380. Two miles to run. we'll start having adverse signals as we get closer to Neilston, but that is to be expected since it is the end of the line. Yeah. Wow, I still can't believe that we're getting 60 FPS. This route is insanely well optimized. Wow. For route to run rock solid 60 frames per second on my machine, that's pretty rare, and you normally see it in pre-TSW5 routes. Let's cut the power. Actually, no, let's keep some power going just to try to maintain speed. Single yellow aspect, which means we've got 900 yards to Neilston. Yeah, you can definitely tell that the scenery's not up to modern standards. Like, look at all of those copy and pasted building assets. But yeah, I can forgive the route that due to its age, if I'm being honest. This route has been around since 2021, so you can't expect it to be the latest and greatest in scenery. Here is Neilston. Ooh, we are so early. We're more than a minute early. Stop. Okay, that was pretty... I don't like how it's so close to that red signal. So, yeah. What? Ah! So, yeah. The train will then go up into this head shunt here, change ends, and then go back onto that platform to do run back to Glasgow Central. Hello? Game? It's locked the doors. Are you kidding me? Right. Let's turn off the vigilance. I've got an idea. No, let's shut the door. Try again. No, please don't let this ruin the run. Try again, see if the game's just being annoying and not recognizing it. Hello? Oh, well, I guess I'll just do my outro then. So, yeah, thank you everyone so much for... Oh, no, never mind. There we go. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, so, yeah, that'll be all for this video, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.